Welcome to Tales She Told Me, a podcast featuring honest conversations about what it means to be a woman, a mother, and in business. I'm your host, Farrah Haidar. It's another solo episode. In these episodes, I try to share things I've learned and thoughts I've had. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit about apathy. Now, what do I mean when I say apathy? It's that moment when you realize you're not excited about a project or business or something you've worked really hard on, and you're like, what's going on here? Why am I not excited? Why aren't the creative juices flowing? How did I lose momentum? I don't want to do this anymore. Let's just give up, give in, move on, etc. Now, I'm going to be really transparent. This has happened to me more than I would like to admit. That's partially because I'm a dreamer. I like to dream up big things, and getting into the nitty-gritty details can often seem tedious and boring. Ideally, I could just dream this up, hand this off to someone who thrives on that kind of work. But this is the real world, and that's just not possible. So, what do? Well, few things. First, I remind myself of the original vision. What got me excited in the first place? Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, I butchered that name, but he's the author of The Little Prince, has this great quote. It goes, if you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. In other words, it all comes down to vision. And working with a lot of startups, as well as building my own business, I would say that's not only for you, but for the people working with you as well. Part of your role as a leader is to remind people of the why. And the why is always about vision. Without it, it's harder to motivate yourself, motivate others, and really create something extraordinary. And with it, well, you capture your own creativity as well as those around you. And I've seen incredible things come of that. So I try to make the vision really clear and the why even clearer. Then I remind myself often. I also keep my eyes peeled for the joy. There's usually something in the grind that I like or feels good or gives me that zing or sense of accomplishment I'm looking for. I lean into that. But I am not going to lie to you. There are days when just reminding myself of the vision feels like eating stale bread when I'm starving. And that's when the other work I've done comes in. If you want to do big things in business or in your life, it's going to be a grind. That's the reality. I will tell you that every quote unquote overnight success story has a 10-year in the making story no one wants to hear because it's boring. It's a grind. Now, some people are lucky. They love the grind. Other people, like myself, not so much. So, how can you do big things while hating the grind? You train. This took me a long time to figure out. And I bounced around a lot in my youth because I found the grind too hard to handle. And as the project I took on grew, I knew I was going to have to learn to stick it out longer, to be more patient, to love the grind. So you train to do that in everyday things. Do one thing consistently for a year every day. Advice? Choose something you love. I started with journaling. I would get up early and journal every day. And I made it feel really luxurious. I gave myself plenty of time to get up and get down to the kitchen. I made myself a hot cup of coffee. I bought a journal I loved. I had a blanket and a beautiful pen. Everything about it was made to feel lush. And it was a small habit. There were many days that I didn't feel like doing it, but I did it. Then, when it became a habit, I added a 15-minute exercise to it at the end. Journal 20 minutes, exercise 15 minutes. Again, I had never regularly exercised in my life. Now, the order of that is deliberate. I do the thing I love first because it's easier to get out of bed that way. And then I did the thing I like less. And full disclosure, there were times when I said, I'm just going to get up and journal and not exercise. But when I was done journaling, I had stacked the habits together. So I ended up exercising anyways. I also made sure to start really small and continually build on that momentum. If I had started really big, like, oh, I'm going to exercise for an hour, I would have totally burnt out and given up. Now it's been 3 years. I get up every morning, journal, meditate, exercise. Are there days when I'm on vacation or short on time and I do an abridged version or skip one element of it? Sure. But that's the exception and not the rule. The important part is that I have seen the payoff. I'm healthier, more energetic, more clear minded than ever before. And I know that is from the morning ritual grind. Committing to those small things has seeped into other areas of my life. And I can now handle the grind, knowing it's going to pay off more easily. You train when things are easy for when things get hard. And that's all I have to say about that, because apathy will hit, and you just have to realize it's an ebb and flow. And eventually, as you grind your way through it, everything will flow again. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you got something out of that. Reach out on all social media platforms at Farrah Haidar and tell me, how do you deal with apathy? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll get notified when a next episode is available. Also, I'm giving away a PDF of some of the best quotes we've had on the show, beautifully designed to print and journal your thoughts. Email me at farrah@farrahhaidar.com and title it Quotes. Talk to you soon. Till then, chase your happy.